and blessings, my melanated. Man, it is a chilly day in the neighborhood, but we're out here loving, living, and enjoying life. Melanated, I had a subscriber ask me, with all the animals we encounter, how do I know that these are my spirit animals on the video I did about spirit animals and totems? Well, first of all, you have to be in tune with your inner self. In the other video, I talked about the vultures that came and sat and were coming and setting in a tree. And those vultures were there for a reason. But I didn't know it at the time because my chakras were not being balanced. I was sorely out of line. It was a lot going on in my life, and things were just very unbalanced. And so I was trying to run them off. And the key was that I was still in that matrix mode. And when you're in that matrix mode, it's hard for you to know. I would say that you probably will not know if you're in that matrix mode. Because in that matrix mode, I've always been taught that vultures hanging around, you know, the superstition that they're bringing death, that it could be death or whatever. But they had a message for me, but it was not the message that anyone was leaving this realm. It was the message that my time as who I was over. The old me was dying out, and a new me was being born. And I did not understand that. See, one thing you have to understand about the matrix is, within the matrix, what the matrix says is superstition is probably real. And what the matrix says is real is probably superstition. Okay? So with that being said, they came to give me a message. Another member of my totem, a spiritual animal, is the snake. And they came early on. In my mother's house, just up the street. You know, I'll be 60 this coming May. Never been a snake in there. She called one day, there was a snake in her bathroom. Went down there, took care of it for her. 2 or 3 days later, up here at my house, we've been here 25 years or better and never had that problem. My wife was sitting at the table and one came under the front door and slipped right in. And right there she saw it, took care of that one. Did not realize that they were part of the totem and they were bringing messages. Still did not know, but now I know. Then I told you in the last video about the hawk. The hawk was was with his mate flying over. It had been coming and sitting in a tree alone, and then the day it came with his mate. At this point, I'm balanced enough, and I know enough, because knowing to look it up. And so I looked it up, and it gave me that message that, you know, I told you my mother had surgery. She was staying with us. I was not doing my part to take care of it. I was putting a lot of it off on my wife, and I needed to do more. And that's what it said when I looked it up and did compare things together. Spirit animals will also come to you in dreams with messages, you know. So the way you know is basically you have to be in tune with yourself and with nature. You have to be working on balancing your chakras. That third eye has to be opening. That inner self, you have to be trusting your inner self, and you will know when you see them. And like I said in the other video, usually it's a dramatic event. Like when my wife and I were coming back from the fruit stand, and the snake, and there was a hawk with a snake in its talons. I'd never seen that before, and it flew directly over the car, and it almost seemed like time stood still, and it just stopped there and then went on. So these are events you will know what animals are there for you and what messages they have. Like when the blackbirds came. I keep saying blackbirds, but it was crows. When the crows came, there were just so many in the backyard till it was overwhelming. And there they were. So then I knew, and I looked up what it meant, and that was actually happening in my life at the time. So I knew that it was. When you look it up and research it, you'll know that they are a part of you. But the key is being spiritually balanced. That's why you start. I tell people, I don't tell you where to start. Your spiritual team will tell you where to start. But a good place to start is with that root chakra. And you have to be open to your spiritual team. And as I started to feed the ancestors once a month, and I prepared an ancestor altar, then these messages and these animals became more and more. I knew what they were about, because they were messages from the ancestors, from my spiritual team, using them to connect and to communicate with me. So there are several things that you have to do. Within spirituality, everything is balanced, and everything must be balanced, okay? So there is no one answer to that question, how do you know? You have to be in a line and working on several things, communicating with the ancestors, balancing the chakras, meditating, using the incense, the crystals. You know, you need to be doing all of this for it all to come together. Basically, let me put it to you like this. It's a large puzzle with a lot of pieces, and you have to be looking for where to put those pieces and how to put those pieces together. And the key to it is you have to push aside all that the matrix has taught you, all that you learned in school, if you went to college, trade school, whatever, all of that, you got to push that aside. If you were in religion like I was, you got to push all that aside. All that you learned in religion, in Sunday school, in church, in Bible study, you got to push that aside. Because all that will keep you from connecting with who you really are and keep you from connecting with your spiritual team. Because that's what those things were designed for. Religion, designed to keep you from your spiritual team. School, designed to keep you from your spiritual team, from knowing and from learning these things. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. If it didn't answer your question, then jump down in the comments. We'll do another video till we get it figured out, okay? But that's all I'm here to share information that I've learned with you and hope it will help you on your journey. So be blessed, melanated. Touch feet to soil. Take in plenty of sunlight. Love your melanated self. Take in a little moonlight if you can. But most of all, love your melanated self. Be blessed, melanated. I'm going to go get warm.